show Canelo Alvarez body shots. Like maybe there's a video we could look. He's got a beautiful one where he steps in and just and rips that left to the liver, and just your body just goes deep. It just fucking shuts down. It's the weirdest feeling, man. It's like your legs stop working, everything stops working. Your whole body just seizes up.
Joe Rogan has predicted that Canelo Alvarez would brutally end Terence Crawford in their potential fight. He expressed that while Crawford is an exceptional boxer, the size and power advantage that Canelo possesses would be too much for Crawford to handle. Rogan emphasized that Canelo's experience in higher weight classes, combined with his knockout power, would give him a decisive edge. He remarked that Canelo would dominate Crawford in a head-to-head fight. Moreover, Rogan highlighted the disparity in size and natural power between the two, pointing out that while Crawford has achieved great success, he hasn't faced someone as physically imposing and dangerous as Canelo. The conversation sparked much debate in the boxing community, with some agreeing with Rogan's assessment, while others believe that Crawford's technical skills could allow him to neutralize Canelo's strength advantage. Rogan's comments have added more buzz to the ongoing discussions about whether the two fighters could meet in the ring, fueling speculation about how a showdown between the two champions might play out. The hypothetical matchup continues to intrigue boxing fans, but as Rogan emphasized, Canelo's power and ability to deliver devastating punches could be too much for Crawford to overcome. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia has returned to stirring the pot online, this time reigniting Twitter feuds. His latest targets? Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, as he dives into another round of verbal jabs. The verbal sparring among these three elite boxers has escalated. Recently, Crawford sat down with Logan Paul on his podcast, offering his insights on Ryan Garcia. The real excitement ignited when Canelo Alvarez's thoughts on a possible bout with Crawford stirred up widespread debate, especially following remarks from His Excellency Turki Alalshik, which amplified the anticipation surrounding the matchup. Ryan Garcia pulled no punches in his critique of Terence Crawford. While recognizing Crawford's undeniable talent, Garcia insisted that the Nebraska native doesn't measure up to himself or Canelo Alvarez.
Ryan Garcia, it's pretty clear that he's tangled up in some evils and some demons right now. Do you ever try to reach out to people like that and kind of set them straight?
Nah, not really. I don't have a relationship with them like that. That's not my place. The guys that's around them. For you to call yourself a friend, a brother, to watch a man like that self-destruct, what type of friend are you? There's not one person in my camp right now that wouldn't grab me and be like, hey, you tripping.
He praised Crawford's athletic prowess, but made it clear that, in his view, Crawford still has a long way to go before reaching the stature of fighters like him or Canelo. "You are a great, dedicated athlete, but you can't compare to myself or Canelo," Garcia stated. He ridiculed Crawford, claiming he exploited everyone around him yet had little to show for it. In a bold move, Garcia laid down a challenge, daring Crawford to face him head-on and resolve their feud once and for all. Garcia's recent comments might have been sparked by Crawford's statements concerning Canelo Alvarez. When questioned about facing Crawford in the ring, Alvarez seemed receptive but emphasized that the fight would hinge on the financial details. He went on to claim that a matchup with Crawford at 168 pounds would be a walk in the park. During a conversation with Sean Zittle and Sean Showtime Porter, Crawford fired back, challenging Alvarez's points, especially his stance on weight and financial matters. Crawford highlighted that Alvarez, who once faced smaller fighters like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Amir Khan, now appeared reluctant to step into the ring with him. He also cast doubt on Alvarez's financial assertions, suggesting that outside of the Mayweather bout, Alvarez's earnings from other marquee fights might not be as significant as he claims. Crawford thinks that despite this, Alvarez is hesitant to take on him due to the possibility of jeopardizing his boxing reputation.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass. Like
yes,
that.
man type stuff.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Moreover, Ryan Garcia has unequivocally voiced his stance on a potential showdown, leaving no space for doubt or confusion. In a recent interview, Garcia, renowned for his provocative remarks, dismissed Crawford as an overhyped bum and firmly stated that Alvarez would triumph if the two ever clashed in the ring. In an unfiltered interview with Say Cheese TV, Garcia didn't mince words. He labeled Crawford as a tedious fighter, insisting that the spotlight he commands is undeserved and that he's merely stealing boxing's money. The young fighter, currently serving a doping ban, even went as far as to challenge Crawford, saying, "Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking expletive." Garcia's comments were strikingly audacious, especially in light of his ongoing suspension and the uproar over his failed drug test from earlier this year. The excitement surrounding a possible showdown between Crawford and Alvarez sparked when Crawford claimed his fourth world title, triumphing over Israel Madrimov for the WBA super welterweight belt. Saudi Arabian boxing executive Turki Alalshik showed enthusiasm for arranging the bout and even reportedly extended an invitation to Alvarez. Yet, Alvarez's rejection of the offer caused Alalshik to lose interest in that particular clash. Now, Alalshik is suggesting a new intriguing prospect: a fight between Crawford and the unbeaten American star Virgil Ortiz Jr. Even though Alalshik has redirected his attention, the buzz surrounding the anticipated showdown remains fervent. Boxing enthusiasts are still buzzing about the potential clash between Crawford, boasting an unblemished record of 41 victories, and Alvarez, who just fought Edgar Berlanga. Crawford, fresh off a triumphant debut in the 154-pound division, faces the prospect of ascending to an even higher weight class to challenge Alvarez, who competes at 168 pounds. Alvarez, while expressing a willingness to take on Crawford, has reportedly demanded a colossal $150 million purse for the matchup. Garcia's critique of Crawford has ignited a debate over whether a potential bout between the two would truly meet the hype. He dismissed Crawford's skills, asserting that despite the accolades of the Omaha fighter, he falls short of Alvarez's stature. "He gets hit a lot. He's not untouchable," Garcia commented, expressing confidence that even he could find a way to beat Crawford. At present, each fighter is charting their own course. The potential clash between Alvarez and Crawford remains a tantalizing possibility, but Garcia's bold statements have undeniably intensified the buzz in the boxing arena. Canelo Alvarez stands as one of boxing's premier superstars, his fame and reputation drawing countless challengers eager to step into the ring with the Mexican icon. Although many of these calls for a fight come from less notable fighters, some, like Terence Crawford, present a compelling and intriguing challenge for Alvarez. After Crawford's landmark win against Errol Spence Jr. in 2023, which established him as the first male boxer to hold undisputed titles in 2 different divisions, he expressed a strong desire to challenge the reigning super middleweight champion. However, the Guadalajara native did not reciprocate the interest shown by Bud. Alvarez pointed out that the significant size difference between them was a major obstacle, making it impractical to pursue discussions for a fight. Crawford's clash with Israel Madrimov, marking his debut in the super welterweight division, fueled the debate among critics who argue that Bud may be undersized for the reigning super middleweight champion. Boxing icon and Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. has made a bold prediction about a potential bout between Bud Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez. In a recent chat with Fight Hub TV, he stated, "Do I think Canelo can beat Bud? It's a tough fight to call. I think his size may be his best going factor. But if he goes out and boxes Bud, he's not going to beat Bud boxing. He's not. So, if Bud can take his punch, he's not going to outbox Bud. What will determine the fight will be who wants it most, and who has their fight plan. If Bud can get Canelo to box him, Bud will outbox him." Terence Crawford has recently claimed the WBA super welterweight title, with a decisive victory over Israel Madrimov. Hailing from Nebraska, Crawford is eyeing the prestigious undisputed world titles in the 154-pound division. His triumph over Madrimov has set him on a promising path toward achieving that goal. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, representing Madrimov, recently sparked controversy with a bold statement suggesting that if Bud doesn't land a bout with Canelo Alvarez, he may never step into the ring again. In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Hearn stated the following: "I don't think Terence Crawford will ever fight again. I think unless he gets Canelo, I don't think Crawford will fight again. He definitely won't fight Virgil Ortiz, won't rematch Madrimov. He made a lot of money, and I think he's comfortable, isn't he?" In recent years, Terence Crawford has emerged as one of boxing's most dominant forces. Crawford is now determined to cement his legacy and secure a substantial financial reward. Yet, turning this aspiration into reality may be complicated by the intricacies involved in arranging the fight. In a recent interview with KO Artist Sports, Eddie Hearn emphasized that Crawford's attention is entirely dedicated to this upcoming bout. "Until he gets that fight with Canelo, I don't think he steps back in the ring," added Hearn, emphasizing Crawford's determination to make this showdown happen. This anticipated showdown has the makings of a landmark event for boxing enthusiasts globally and could dramatically alter the career paths of both fighters. For Crawford, facing Canelo represents the pinnacle of his aspirations, a golden opportunity to cap off an already legendary career with a resounding flourish. However, the bout is still a distant dream. Even the renowned matchmaker, His Excellency Turki Alalshi, was unable to persuade Canelo to accept the challenge against Crawford. At the same time, the two-time undisputed champion is eager to face the Mexican boxing legend, but is careful not to appear too eager. This is the match boxing enthusiasts are eager to see, and Crawford has previously expressed a desire to take on Canelo Alvarez. All of you guys want to talk about Crawford versus Canelo, so yeah, we're going to talk about it, Hearn stated. Well, as expected, Hearn was quite unapologetic about his statement. It's tough to dismiss the buzz surrounding a potential showdown between two pound-for-pound titans, and adding Canelo Alvarez to the mix certainly sparked additional excitement around Terence Crawford's last bout. It's interesting to note that Eddie Hearn said in a prior interview that it is extremely improbable that Canelo will face Crawford. The well-known British boxing promoter stated in a previous interview with TalkSport that Alvarez would probably choose David Benavidez over Crawford. He said, "I think he'd pick Benavidez over Crawford because he knows he'd get the credit for that win, whereas he might not versus a guy 3 divisions lower." Hearn further added, "When I met Saul, he wasn't crazy on that Crawford fight. He just felt that you have got a welterweight coming up to light middleweight, going up to super middleweight, and that he wouldn't get any credit for that win."
Are you talking the whole meal thing?
So we said we have to use your name to sell the show.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I think.
You good? Everything good?
Yeah.
Good. See you in a minute.
Recently, Canelo Alvarez discussed the prospect of a bout with Terence Crawford in an interview with Boxing Scene. For this matchup to materialize, Crawford must first square off against Sebastian Fundora, as mandated by the World Boxing Organization. "I'm not saying that fight with Crawford can't happen. The order doesn't matter," said the Jalisco native. Canelo, the reigning champion of the super middleweight division, recently revealed that Turki Alalshi had proposed a bout with Crawford in February 2025. Alvarez might still have a few more years left in his boxing career, but many fans worry that Crawford's time at the top could be running out. Malignaggi told TalkSport's Talk Boxing podcast. He added, "I stick with that. His apprehension to fight the mandatory continuously only cements my opinion. I don't think he's going to fight Benavidez. The only reason I want to see him fight Benavidez is for the belts, because I don't even think it would be a good fight. I'm more excited about other things than I am about Canelo." Terence Crawford appears to be Canelo's most likely opponent going forward. As mentioned before, Turki Alalshi has long had a super fight at the pinnacle of his boxing ambitions. Recently, he emphasized that Bud Crawford is solely interested in a showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford has been directed to battle WBO and WBC super welterweight title holder Sebastian Fundora in a high-stakes unification bout. However, it remains uncertain if Crawford will proceed with the match. But even with the mounting pressure from fans and the media, Canelo has maintained a calm demeanor regarding the upcoming matchups. He consistently asserts that while he's open to considering them if the financial terms are appealing, he firmly believes they won't enhance his legacy. It seems he holds a special regard for Crawford, especially now that Crawford has recently joined Canelo in the elite 4-weight world champion circle. Before this milestone, Crawford secured a career-defining victory against Errol Spence Jr., the one rival Canelo considers significant among his 40-fight record, according to TMZ. Canelo said, "Look, I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he's just one big fight. If you see his record, he's just beat one good fighter, Errol Spence. Other than that, I don't think he's beat another great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. It almost looked very easy. I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. Crawford has claimed titles in lightweight, super lightweight, welterweight, and now super welterweight, achieving undisputed dominance in 2 of those divisions. Along his rise to pound-for-pound supremacy, he conquered opponents such as Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Julius Ndongo, Victor Postol, and Ricky Burns. Yet, none of these victories seem to move the needle for Canelo. Even yet, he stated in the interview that he is still up for the fight, although a little apathetically. He said, "You never know in boxing. We'll see in the future." Many in the sports world think Crawford would give up if he can't win the match against Canelo. When Manuk Akopian questioned Alvarez about why he thought the battle with with Bud was so simple, he alluded to the disparity in weight. He said, "You know, what we saw in the last fight with him against Israel Madrimov, I think that's why there are weight classes. That's what I think. It's an easy fight for me." Crawford claimed a unanimous decision victory over Madrimov to secure the WBA super welterweight world title. However, the fight broke his streak of 10 straight stoppages, sparking speculation that his power may not be as effective in the higher weight class as anticipated. Canelo stated that he will consider an offer if one is made, though. He said, "Could be, why not? We are in boxing." The Mexican chose to return the focus to Berlanga after being pressed about how much he would charge for the altercation. He said, "You know already. You already asked me, and I already told you. Right now, I'm focused 100% on my fight on Saturday. You know the answer, buddy." But why would Crawford, who's traditionally fought in lighter weight classes, seek a bout with the unified super middleweight champion? Given the considerable weight disparity and potential risks involved, it's a bold move. In his most recent bout at 154 pounds, in this vein, Terence Crawford's decision to leap up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo Alvarez, a fighter naturally at 168 pounds, is undeniably audacious. Yet, Joe Rogan, America's leading podcaster and UFC color commentator, sees a clear logic behind Crawford's ambition to face Alvarez. During a recent episode of the JRE, Rogan, in conversation with UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad, delved into the motivations driving Crawford's desire to take on Canelo. According to Rogan, Canelo is the best boxer in the business, and the 36-year-old southpaw would make a ton of money if they fight. Rogan mentioned that he believed Crawford was primarily interested in securing a big money fight, noting that the real big money fight would be with Canelo. The 57-year-old combat sports aficionado shared his thoughts during a discussion with Belal. Rogan also mentioned that Crawford's upcoming fight with Canelo would mark the final chapter of his career, perfectly positioning him for retirement.
You know, Crawford is one of the best ever. He's 36.
Rogan remarked that he considered Crawford to be one of the best ever, highlighting that at 36, Crawford might be thinking about securing one big money fight before stepping away. He noted that fighters who have been at the top for so long often look for an opponent at their level, and in Crawford's case, Canelo, who has been in the game just as long, could be that match, potentially for a significant paycheck before moving on.
He's like, maybe this is, let me get one big money fight and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But he's got Boots Ennis, knock on his door too, which is another amazing fight, but super dangerous. Just like Benavidez is dangerous, Boots Ennis is very dangerous. Very dangerous.
During a previous chat with the MMA Hour, Crawford unequivocally stated that a bout with IBF welterweight champ Jaron Ennis is off the table for the foreseeable future. At just 27, Ennis, while talented, hasn't yet captured the public's imagination or become a major pay-per-view attraction. On the other hand, Canelo checks off 2 crucial boxes for Crawford: substantial financial gain and a boost to his legacy. Crawford told Ariel Helwani, "Where I'm at right now, I'm looking at the fight that makes the most sense, and that's not Boots. Canelo is going to bring way more to my legacy, way more to my bank account. At the end of the day, when boxing is done with, what will we have? I want to have a legacy that people talk about for ages. And not only that, I want a bank account that will last for ages." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.